This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We do have Shaun Darcy, the great man, in the house. Dars, how are you, buddy?
Good, guys. How are we going?
Hi, Darcy.
Well, we're all worried about you, mate. It's been
worried.
weeks and weeks. We're playing last time. We had to really get into him to see if he was playing. We
Under
thought he was.
extreme cross-examination, you did reveal that you weren't getting on the plane, which suggested you weren't playing.
Yeah.
So, are you playing against the Pies tomorrow night?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully I get picked, sort of thing.
Watch what you say on this show, might not have the news.
Yeah. So, I'm feeling really good. Trained really well on Wednesday. Carl split up really well. So
Got a new haircut.
Is that the reason? You're playing Friday night footy, you got a haircut?
Yeah.
It's a really nice fade. Where did we get it?
Around the corner in Subi. I don't know the place called, so I probably should shout it. Aaron Barbershop, I'm going to say.
Gales for males.
Urban Barbershop.
Urban Barbershop.
Yeah.
Urban Barbershop, that's it.
Where was Gales for Males again?
Special too.
Gales for males is in
Kalgoorlie,
Kalgoorlie.
wasn't it? Gales for Males.
Yeah, it's for males. Gale.
Yeah.
Males. No,
So, you know.
a female would never dream of walking in. Because it's right there up on the sign.
Pretty obvious.
He come all the way into Subiaco for a haircut.
Yeah, he's a good fellow. He cuts a lot of the boys' hair. And then, once you have a relationship, you try to keep it.
Oh, you're like, okay.
You trust him with your locks.
Exactly.
Once you have a relationship.
Was he your first hairdresser here?
Nah, he was probably my third or fourth. And
Yeah. So what happened to the other two? Why'd you burn those?
they might have, yeah.
Did they charge you?
Butchered a few haircuts, and I walked in and the boys let me hear it, so I was like, not going back there.
It's always up to your friends to let you know how a haircut's gone, isn't
You
it?
walk into the club, you're like, here we go. Yeah, okay, we're not going back, are we? So,
Now, Dars, as you were saying, you're hopeful of playing after you got through your running sessions and all the rest of it. Give us a rundown of your running session to be able to put yourself in the spotlight of playing again.
yeah, so had a big hit out Friday last week. It was about 8Ks, and then Sunday afternoon I got into the club and did more football movement, so jump into a bag.
Jump into a bag?
Yeah, like a ruck bag. So leading, repeat efforts and things like that, really high speed. And then Tuesday we had full training, fully trained, match gym, all that thing, so we're off and going.
You good to go?
Good to go.
Yeah.
A ruck bag. Jumping in a ruck bag. What's a ruck bag, and why would you jump in one?
So it simulates a centre bounce in a ruck contest. So,
But you're in a bag.
No,
Yeah.
it looks
Well,
a bit like a punching bag,
yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you're in it.
no,
No.
you jump into it.
You jump up.
You jump into
I
it.
thought you were hopping in a bag, putting it up over your head and doing something.
That's probably how I explained it.
In a giant sleeping bag.
Okay,
trying to play
so you're
football.
like tackling a bag.
Yeah, but jumping.
There it is. That thing there.
Yeah.
There you go. That looks fun.
How does it feel as a docker to know that your inaugural captain, Ben Allen, is going to be barracking for the other side because his son
son's-
makes his
yes,
debut tomorrow
yes.
for Collingwood? That
Yeah.
must hurt.
Oh, you've got to stick with family.
I
So
know, that's
you've
tough, isn't
definitely
it?
got to go with your son playing his first game.
Yeah.
So would have loved him running around in Freo.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We'll
You
see
know,
how it
yeah,
goes.
it is heartbreaking to have that situation because
Yeah.
he didn't play enough games for Fremantle. Obviously, he only played a few
Yeah,
seasons.
so
but
no father-son.
Ben had really bad knees after a while when he came to us. I've never seen a more, when I first came in the thing, he was such a professional, and then, you aspire to be like many people, but you
Yes.
don't know what the level is. But
Yeah.
when he came, you go, oh my God,
That's the
that's what
level.
Yes, and because
that's what
he'd
it's
come
like.
from a successful side in Hawthorn as
Yeah.
well, so he knew what he was doing.
Oh, absolutely, he knew what he's doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right now, we're smelling Shaun's mince and noodles that he.
Is that code for something?
I should see his dumplings. His mince and noodles that he made last night. Who's cooking at your house? What happens?
I cook.
So
I live by
what
myself.
did we have? What did we have last night?
Last night I actually went to Luke Jackson's and he cooked me a nice steak and salad.
Okay, but what would what the night before when you're just
Or
cooking
do you
for
just
yourself?
go around to every teammate
Yeah, I
every
was
night
trying
of
to
the
pick
week?
and choose. I got Aaron Sanderlands last night, which was a nice feed.
He made
Well,
really big
not.
sausages.
Well, as we know, Spider, he's a mad meat eater.
Right.
Did you live with him at some stage?
I did. I had about 7-8 weeks.
Was that because you're a tally and they put tallies
literally
together?
just match you
They
together.
said, off you go.
Yeah.
The bed's big enough. And
The benches are high enough. Yeah.
It's big enough for you.
so, yeah, it was quite cool. I hadn't seen them for about 6 months, and Sloan, Billy and Peyton are all 12, 10 and 6. And when I was living there, Sloan was 4 and Dylan was 2 and Payne wasn't even alive. So it's pretty cool seeing them.
I don't know if I've asked you this already, but on this podcast that I listened to, the married couple were talking about how hard it was to sell their house because all of the kitchen benches and stuff were raised up.
Okay, yeah.
And they said it was just slightly because they're slightly taller, and it threw a lot of people off because everyone's used to a standard size. When you're renovating your house, what are you doing?
I'm getting bigger.
Bigger?
So,
yes!
They measured my hip height.
Did they?
And then, I think it's like, a few inches bigger than everyone else's. So.
Yeah, it is.
So then to like build in the dishwasher and stuff, they have to chalk that up, or are they giant tall dishwashers?
Yeah.
Yes, I think Spider Burton did the same in his house that's recently built. He had to.
It really throws people off with resale.
I didn't know that with the resale. No,
yeah, because people are naturally used to bench tops and stuff being a certain height, and whether you are a little bit taller or a little bit higher, you've adjusted yourself to that. So when you come into something that's been, or you
just have to sell it to Luke Jackson.
Yeah, so it cuts your market down to tall people.
Do we remember? Because Anna Gare's married to Luke Longley. Do we remember what that was?
Yeah,
because she was.
They made
she's tiny.
Yeah, but they made them bigger for him.
For him, things and because she moved into his house in Fremantle, and so everything was tall. So she used to have to stand on a step.
So he
had tall toilets.
Are
and
you
everything.
doing kitchen bench
tall
like that? Are you
toilets.
doing bathrooms, cupboard, all of them?
All of it.
Tall toilets?
Yeah.
You got a tall toilet?
Oh, I haven't gone that far
Standard
down.
toilet?
Maybe I will do the tall toilet.
It's not easy to say tall toilet.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
I'm
really good.
excited for all your tall things.
Hey, Darcy, this game tomorrow night against Collingwood. When you were back at home growing up, who did you go for?
I was Geelong supporter.
Yeah,
Geelong
of course.
supporter. So did you hate Collingwood like everyone else other than Collingwood supporters?
Yeah. So, Collingwood's, you either love them or you hate them as a footy community.
And mostly you hate them.
What if you came from a world where, like Darcy, you hated Collingwood, and then you got picked up in the draft by Collingwood? Can you turn your love around? Would you have been able to?
Well, I
just
didn't
knock a
really
tooth
like.
out
I
and
didn't
just
really like
settle in?
Fremantle because I was a Geelong supporter,
Yeah.
and they beat us in the
2013.
and I was at that game as a Geelong supporter, and my old man hated Ross Lyon, and he's the first person he met. So you got to turn around.
So how long did it take for you to forget your feelings towards Fremantle and then?
At the end of the month when you see the paycheck coming.
Hey, no hard feelings.
It definitely helps.
You know why? Because it makes you be able to afford doing tall benches.
Yeah, that's right. And Lockie Schultz is back.
Yeah.
The crowd will boo him. So
Yeah, I
Lockie
hope
Schultz
so.
left us, Nathan, this year, and he's playing his 100th game on Friday night
You
against.
guys lose a lot of Lockies, don't you?
We do, actually.
Yeah,
We do.
got to lock them up. Shut up. Hey, I'm just trying here. You're talking about football. I'm just trying to get in. I've got nothing else to say. Let's be honest.
Well, looking forward to a big game, actually. Looking forward to you running out there and seeing what you got, big guy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, mate.
Yeah.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Over the last couple of days, we've been talking about the fact that, the AFL competition isn't fair to our West Australian teams. So over the weekend, there'll be a big article that Justin Longmuir, Fremantle coach, has been interviewed for. So, he's laid it all out, how he thinks it should run.
Yep.
Damien Hardwick, who used to coach Richmond, coached them to all their premierships in recent years, now up at the Gold Coast and has to travel 45 minutes. He's actually siding with us for once.
I saw that on the news and I thought, good on you, mate, because it makes no sense to me. And believe me, I'm not invested in football.
No, true, no.
So I don't, I'm just looking at whether it's fair or not. And for them, in the arguments over 12 business class seats.
Yeah.
Come on. How is that going to help? Even the people in business class seats, you've got a more comfortable seat. You're still doing the travelling.
Yeah, and there's still a heap of people who aren't in the business class seats.
So that's 12. So how many players
Well, there's
flying
22
over?
plus emergencies.
So you're going to, they all line up, don't they? They pick the shorties for...
That's what they normally did. Yeah.
Okay.
Shorty's down the back.
Anyway, it was
Never
so
got the
good
business
hearing
class
him.
seats,
It was
did you,
so
Shaun?
good hearing him say that.
I put my hand up for the oldies to get the thing.
Yeah.
I was able to bump myself up the thing. But anyway, this is Damien Hardwick.
For clubs in Victoria to sit there and say that the 12 business class flight seats help out the teams in Perth is a laughable statement and should be named and shamed, to be perfectly honest, because I find it downright disrespectful, to be honest. It is a challenge.
Name and shame. I love it, name and shame.
I think so. Yeah. Who is Shane?
Yeah, exactly.
Name a Shane.
Name is... How many people do you reckon will name me?
Well, did you
Most
know?
of your family, they're not sure.
No doubt about it.
Ah, yeah.
One of the other things that's been mooted in the last couple of days, obviously, I've got to mention the West Australian who decided to write their own article about how Harley Reid's read their articles.
Yes, so they ask him a pointed question and then he has to answer it, and then they write a full article about it and a back page. It's like, oh.
They write, so double page spread on that one, and then the back page on that one, and it was from
Isn't it
one
embarrassing?
question. From one question.
So they put him on the spot, he answers it, and then they write a 3-page
I
list.
don't
Yeah, by the
know.
way, they get the journos to ask those questions. So
Yeah,
they
of
have
course.
something to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Hey, mate, get on the phone. Make sure you ask him this one.
I just find it really
That's
interesting.
embarrassing.
I just find it really interesting, especially on Perth Now, when they turn the comments off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's right. They don't want people to say bad things about them, even though because they know that not what they're doing isn't popular and isn't right.
No, it isn't right. But let's not take away from the fact that we all agree that he's a super duper talent and
he's
he's great to
amazing.
watch,
Yes.
right? So he's getting a lot of kudos over on the East Coast in particular. But one of the things that everybody's talking about is the fact that North Melbourne, in the last game of the season, beat the Gold Coast Suns, which meant, and North Melbourne have not won a game, Nathan,
Yeah.
since the last game of the season last year. They've not won a game this year. They were on equal points of the West Coast Eagle. Actually, before the game, they were going to win the wooden spoon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they won the last game of the season, even though the whole
Even
club
then
would have
people-
known
Yes.
if we finish last, we get this guy for free.
And they knew
They know.
that was up what was up for grabs.
There
Yeah.
was him, and there's daylight to the rest. And they won that game
Why did
against
they
the
do
Gold
that?
Coast Suns, and they won it easy. 20 goals, 12. Harry's got it up on the big screen for us, to 14 goals,
And they
13.
and that therefore gave away
Yes.
their shot to get
Yes.
him.
And therefore,
Why'd
he
they do
plays for the
that?
West Coast Eagles instead of a local boy, Victorian, playing for the North Melbourne Football Club, who have been the worst performing team in the last 6 years.
Sorry, I'm confused. They all knew this,
Yes.
so why'd they do it?
I have got no idea what they were thinking. Alistair Clarkson was coaching the team at the time. What was he thinking? Because we've seen it over and over again. When there's a chance that you can get the number one pick, everyone that's any good in your team, they go off for surgery.
Of course they do.
Straight away.
Even if they
Sorry,
don't
you're
need
not playing.
it.
You're
Even
not
if
playing.
they don't need
that's
it,
right.
you
Let's
just
get
cut them
some-
open,
get some
put your
new
hand in
boobs
there,
or something.
swish it around, take it out.
New boobs for you. Get that buttock tightened up. That is... it is
unbelievable.
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And it's not written about enough, and hopefully people will just start heaving a bit more crap on them because they deserve
So
it.
Harley
That is
could
pathetic.
have been theirs.
Could you imagine that in American sport?
Do you think that they thought that the number 2 draft pick was
Or George Wardlaw,
Was
he's a great
good,
player.
yeah, yeah.
He's a great player. In
that
fact,
they
up
thought it
until the
doesn't
weekend,
matter that much? Yeah.
Yeah, up until the weekend, statistically, he was rating higher than Harley over the
Yeah.
season.
Oh, but I have not seen him on any back pages.
Well, the
So he
West,
can't be
the
any
West
good.
haven't heard about
So
it.
yeah, I haven't seen him on the back page. He mustn't be any good.
That's right.
Sorry.
But
I
he's
mean,
not that guy.
where's his face as boss baby? You know, that's what you got to ask yourself.
That's right. What an error. I mean, we all thought they were idiots at the time, North Melbourne, but this is just rubbing it more in.
They won 3 games last year, and they were all early on. They had a massive losing streak, and then they won the game that cost them
Yes.
the
Harley
number 1
Reid.
draft
So,
pick.
so when West Coast and North Melbourne played off towards the end of the season, didn't they, in what was called the Harley Reid Cup?
Yes.
And West Coast won that, didn't
Yes,
they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
The first 2 games almost of the year is when North Melbourne won because they beat Fremantle in round 2. I think they won their first game. Never won a game for the rest of the year, and when it mattered the most to lose, they won.
During a game, if the coach tells you to, tells everyone just to sit down, and everyone sat down.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
I'd
I
say it
think it'd
wouldn't
be
be
frowned
because
upon.
I know it'd be frowned upon,
Yeah.
but is it allowed?
You have to be a bit more subtle about the way you tank.
What can they do, Nath? Because it's tanking, obviously.
Yeah.
So the betting agencies would be up and about over
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
It'd probably be bringing the game into disrepute, I would think.
they couldn't have challenged them if they left their better players out in that Gold Coast
you do
match
it on-
and sent them to...
Yeah, you do it in selection and you do it in the way you rotate your players
Yeah,
during
so
the
you
game.
just play people in weird
Wrong
positions.
positions.
Oh, they didn't do it, did they?
No, they did not.
There you go.
But West Coast is very happy about it.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.